Hello and welcome. Let's look at this classical fizzbuzz question. What is a fizzbuzz problem? Here we are expected to write a program or a function that console logs the number 1 to n. Let's say we are past, the function is fizzbuzz and we are past 5. We are supposed to write a function that will console log 1 to 5. But as it is consoling that 1 to 5, anytime it sees a multiple of 3, it should console fizz instead of that multiple. And anytime it sees a multiple of 5, it should console buzz instead of that multiple. And anytime it sees a multiple of 3 and 5, it should console fizz buzz. So like for 5 now, we are supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in place of 3, which is a multiple of 3, we have fizz. And in place of 5, which is a multiple of 5, we have buzz. So any number that we are given, we need to console the numbers from 1 to that very number. So if n is 6, we need to console log from 1 to 6. But take note that once as you're consoling from 1 to that number that you are given, anytime you see a multiple of 3, instead of consoling the number, just say fizz. And when you see multiple of 5, say buzz. And when you see multiple of 3 and 5, say fizz buzz. So this is the test that it is supposed to pass. So we're going to try to write this very function. So let's begin. How do we begin writing this very function? We're going to run through all the numbers from 1 to n. So that's the first thing we'll do. So we're going to use a for loop to iterate numbers from 1 to n. N is the number that is passed. So to do that, we're simply going to say for. You already know how to write a for loop. So we can say let I be equal to 1, because we are starting from 1 to n. It is clearly stated here from 1 to n. So because of that, that's why I initial value is 1. So the way we write for loop, we now say I less than or equal to n. So that is the limit. We are starting from 1 and we are ending at n. So what next are we supposed to do? So how do we increment? We simply say I plus plus, I plus plus. So that is how you set up the for loop. So as it is iterating, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to first of all check whether it is a multiple of 3 so that we can say fizz. And if it is a multiple of 5, say buzz. But first of all, let's check whether it is a multiple of both 3 and 5. That will be the best thing to do. So to do that, we simply say if to know whether something is a multiple of something, we use the modulus operator. That's what we use. So we simply say if the remainder of I divided by 3 is equal to 0. That is how we know that it is a multiple of 3, because when you divide, let's say you have 3 divided by 3, the remainder is 1, is 0. So if it is 0, then this is definitely a multiple of 3. But if you have something like 4 here, 4 divided by 3, the remainder is 1. So 1 is not equal to 0, so this is not a multiple. So that's why we use the modulus operator. So I divided by, what is the remainder of I divided by 3 is equal to 0. Once it's equal to 0, then we know that it is a multiple of 3. So that's the first thing we are checking. And after checking that, we're also going to check for, that's why we're using and. I divide I module of 5. The same thing. So we're checking whether it is module of I modulus 5. We're checking whether the remainder of I divided by 5 is equal to 0. So that's how we go about checking that. So please make sure that this is inside the bracket, because we are taking both of them. So we are taking the two conditions. Is I a multiple of 3, and is I a multiple of 5? So how do we know that? I divided by 3, what is the remainder? Is the remainder equal to 0? And I divided by 5, the remainder is equal to 0. So having checked that, what do we do? So if it is a multiple of both 3 and 5, what are we supposed to do? We are going to do what? Console.log. What are we supposed to console.log? Fizzbuzz. So that is the first thing we do. So I'm gonna close this. So that's the first thing we are checking. Now after checking this, we are gonna say else if it is just a multiple of 3. And how do we do that? By saying I modulus 3 triple equal to 0. That's how we check whether it is a multiple of 3. So if that is the case, what do we do? If that is the case, we simply do what? Console.log fizz. We already know that. So once we are done with that, we'll close this. And we go down again. And we check whether it is a multiple of 5. How do we do that? We already know. We simply say I model 5 is equal to 0. That's how we check whether it is a multiple of 5. So if it is a multiple of 5, what do we do? We simply console.log. So what do we console.log? We simply do console.log buzz. See? So with this, I think we've checked the 3 conditions. Now if we check all these conditions and they are not the case, what do we do? So what we simply do is that we console.log I. So we just console.log the number that we are supposed to put, since it's neither multiple of 3 or 5, nor is it that of 3 and 5. So once we do this, we'll have our code functioning very well. So you see what we did? We checked whether it is a multiple of 3 and 5. If it is, we say fizzbuzz. If it is not, we check whether it is a multiple of 3. If it is, we'll console fizz. If it is not, we check whether it is a multiple of 5. If it is, we'll console buzz. If it is not, we'll just console the very number that we're looking at. If you're looking at 1 to 6, if it is 2, then we'll now have to console 2. So that is how this is gotten. If you have fizzbuzz 5, these are the things that we're supposed to see. So that is the function fizzbuzz. You can see the way we combined for statements together with the if-else statement, and that is basically the skills that the company that will be interviewing you is going to be looking at, whether you are able to use these various abilities to put an algorithm like this together. Please hit the subscribe button if you like my videos. If you have any questions and concerns, drop them in the comment section. If you have areas that you want us to work on, please also let me understand in the comment section. Always like and subscribe to my channel, share my videos. Thank you and God bless you.